ask you, we have a few interviews today. One later on today is a friend of mine who has bipolar disorder, manic depression. He's had that for many, many years. And he basically takes his lithium every day. He has also a good psychological outlook, and he knows what makes him better and worse. And so he has a pretty normal life now, but he takes his lithium. He says that was a commitment he made, not only for himself, but for the people around him that had to deal with the mess that he used to create. Now, in theory, could someone like that, I'm not saying recommending this, but I'm asking the question, could someone with something, okay, bipolar as I understand it, it's basically lack of sodium in the brain, so you take the lithium, that puts more sodium, and that creates more stability. In theory, is it possible through your kind of, what you're talking about, your kind of work, to deal with an issue like that?
Well, bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance in the brain. And I always say, you need to keep that brain tuned up, right? You got to use the organ. Yeah. You got to maintain the organ that you use to process mind and consciousness. You have to keep that organ tuned up. So I never tell a person who has a brain disorder to come off their medication, because it would be their demise, right? However, those people then can make measurable changes by doing the same thing over a period of time, as long as they're under a doctor's supervision.
Yes.
So that's, and I always tell people that if you're going to go about taking this disease on, you have to get objective tests every 6 months or 3 months, because we got to know if what you're doing is working. That's great feedback. And if it is working, you keep doing it. If it isn't, then we have to reevaluate. So we talk about brain conditions. I'm very, very emphatic that you got to keep that organ tuned up. And I've consulted with many people with bipolar disorders, and they're a breath away from genius. Most of them, they're very insightful, very creative. Yeah. And I always say to them, why would you want to lose that at this point? And so when they begin to stay on their medications, trust their genius, do the rehearsal, become a new ideal of themselves, a new personality, there's things that change in their life as well. They get great relationships, they get great jobs, they go out and create great music or poetry, and they're on their way. And so, to me, the brain chemistry thing is not the issue, in as much as that we start off having a wonderful and profound life, and then as you begin to change your personality, there may be a transformative change that takes place in your brain. Because, a person who has multiple personality disorders, in one personality, she could be allergic to nylon stockings. That's one personality. In the next personality, she's completely healthy, has no allergies, and has completely different physiology. Well, we change our personality, truly change our personality. There are measurable effects that take place in the body as well.
So how is your life? How's a day in the life of Joe? How does it work? Do you get up? I think when I watched What the Bleep Do We Know, I think you were talking about you actually manifest your day to some extent in the morning when you wake up.
Well, where I'm at right now, and what I do every morning is, when I wake up, is I always allow 2 hours for me, and it's very early in the morning. Now, I'm traveling a little bit, and I'm not on the perfect schedule yet, but it's my time, and that's the time where I ask myself the same question every morning. What's the greatest ideal of myself that I can be today?
What's the greatest ideal of myself I can be today?
And then I begin to think, first of all, what I want to unlearn. Who do I not want to be? And I begin to think of the things I'm working on and changing. And when we do that, we make conscious all those unconscious programs. We bring them to conscious mind so that we have more control over them. We gain dominion over them. And if we're able to inhibit them, and we no longer go down the path of those common thoughts and those common behaviors and those common feelings, the principle in neuroscience also says that nerve cells that no longer fire together no longer wire together. We prune away connections. And then I begin to, just like I mentioned, ask who do I want to be? What do I want to reinvent about myself? And I begin to go through the process of rehearsal to be that ideal, and I don't get up until I'm that person, till I feel it, till my body is being conditioned with a new mind. When I do that, my day is very, very exciting, very wonderful, very unique, very unpredictable, and wonderful things happen. And so I'm not asking. I don't really have many material things that I want. There's not a lot of things that I need. I think that our purpose in life, Ian, is to not please God or do the right thing. I think our purpose in life is to express that mind through us. And I think that as we eliminate some of those primitive emotions that have driven human beings to their lowest denominator, when we eliminate those, we allow that mind to begin to flow through us, and we begin to take on the qualities that are godlike: compassion and love and understanding and truth and honor and charity. Those are what that mind typically does to give life in our bodies and in every aspect of the universe. And so my mission really is, for me personally, is to continuously make room for that mind to flow through me.
It's an ongoing process, day by day for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love doing it.
Okay. Joe, thanks very much for coming in to talk with us today. I'm just going to hold up your book again so people can see it, because it really is a fascinating read. It's not a quick read, I have to say.
Well, it says the science of changing your mind. It doesn't say the philosophy of changing your mind.
It takes its time, and watch out for the follow-up coming soon. Thanks, Joe, and thank you very much for watching Conscious TV, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.